Hey there. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good day. Here it is. Another day of the self-love experience. I'm Gwen Lepard. I'm glad to be here with you. We're going to see if having a guest actually works. I believe Kyle is here. We will approve her and see if we can actually have her on without having a double. Um, oh,
Hello?
so I hear you,
Can you hear
and
me?
I don't hear me talking. I can
Oh, yay! I finally figured out what it is. Okay, good. Yay. Hi.
well, and what's
And
so
what's so
interesting
interesting
is that it's
is that it's
still.
still,
I still have an
I still
echo.
have an echo.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Can you hear
Can
it?
you hear it?
I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay, then I'm
Okay,
going to
then
just
I'm going
ignore
to
my
just ignore
echo.
my echo.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo at all. I was trying to drive to my destination, but I didn't get there in time, so I just pulled over to be safe. So, hi, Gwen. How are you doing?
I'm
dropping
dropping things.
things.
That's okay. It's been that kind of day.
Yeah, I, that's what I'm
That's what I'm
hearing. Yes.
hearing, yes.
Whew. I'm in this place where I just want to get my son from school in a few minutes and get home and stay there until tomorrow. It's just, wow. I'm looking at the smoke and just like listening to friends and just really,
Ooh.
it's intense. I have a few friends who've been evacuating and stuff, so I'm really praying for their
Okay.
health and for their well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Absolutely. I noticed somebody
um,
dropped in on Facebook, checking in, saying that they were okay. Hey,
Hey,
Jake.
Jake.
Hey. Yeah, we've had some friends who haven't slept since yesterday morning because they've just been concerned about their homes. A number of people we know actually have been evacuating since last night and are continuing to do that today now. So our obviously our prayers and our concern is on them and their homes. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
saw a
saw a
map
map
last
last
night
night
of
of
all the
all the
fires that are
fires that are
happening.
happening,
Well, basically in the
in the
western
western
country,
country,
the west of the country, and it
and
was
it was
amazing. There's
amazing.
so
So
many
many
in
in
California.
California.
yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's such a dangerous situation. Anyway, so yeah, I think I don't know what to say. I'm just glad that we're safe, and I hope everyone I love is safe. And I'm sorry that so many people are affected by it. I haven't really been plugging into it because I've been in meetings all day, but I'm sure I will soon and catch up on what's happening.
Absolutely,
Absolutely,
yeah.
yeah.
But we want to
There's
use our time
There's
to
nothing
talk
like
nothing
about
fire.
like fire.
we want to use our time to talk about how we're loving ourselves today, right?
Well, it's
Well, it's
true, and
true, and
Ellen
Ellen
just
just
joined
joined
us.
us.
Hey,
Hey,
awesome.
awesome.
Um, so I have a really interesting thing to share. I've
Please.
been dealing with a myriad of health issues for the last year, some of which I'm able to talk about and some I'm not. But one of the current ones is has necessitated my taking a steroid for inflammation.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
so I am called to love myself through what has been a really horrific week of side effects. If you go onto the package of these particular medications, there's a whole list of possible side effects, and I have every one of them to the greatest degree I think possible. And I'm learning about my body that I am very sensitive to pharmaceuticals, and so I spent the last few days in the grips of like this really intense, aggressive, moody, agitated, shaking, like fists clenched, muscles spasming. Just like everything you can imagine. It's just incredible, and so um, I'm I'm called to just keep loving myself through it and to be patient and to understand that it's temporary, like every call you, and also to remember that what's happening with me is not me, and that whatever's showing up and however it's coming and however it's behaving and processing is is okay. And I am reminding myself that this too shall pass, and that I have to finish this. I'm committed to finishing this process of medication. You can't just suddenly stop taking it. That's not safe. So I'm writing it out, and loving myself as much as I can through writing it out, because it has been really intense. and
Okay.
and we all go through that kind of thing. Like, it's part of having a human body, I suppose, to have these peaks and valleys, and to just not just surrender, but embrace, the process. And so that's what I'm doing today. And I'm going to pick up my son from school, and then I'm going to go home, and I'm going to take very sweet care of myself for the rest of the day and the night, and just be patient and know that my healing is happening, whether it feels like it right now or not.
I love that. And one of the things that you said that I really want to bring back in is the piece about, it's temporary.
Yeah.
Because so many of us are going through stuff, and it feels like, when you're in it, it feels so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And even the fires, they will pass.
Yeah.
Though this is our rainy season and we haven't had a drop, so that's really scary.
Yeah, it is.
And people will lose everything, and they will rebuild.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation, and I know they're getting a little deeper, and let me know if you have time.
Yeah, I'm okay.
About suicide.
Yeah.
Because I was speaking with someone who speaks to the dead, because we just had the Day of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sharing from his training that when people suicide, they still have the same problem, only now they can't fix it.
That's
That any
interesting.
problem, yeah, that any problem that you have here in life, and you think that death is a way out, it's not. You still have the same problem, only now you don't have a body and the ability to change it. So you're left with that on the other side, only now you're stuck with,
That's
you may
interesting.
feel, yeah,
Yeah.
and you may feel like you're stuck when you're in it here in life, but it will end. You will transition out of it, and there are solutions that aren't permanent. There are solutions that can change everything. We have choice.
Yeah.
So for some reason, I just felt compelled to mention that. And
It's interesting. I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but do you know that I have experience with mediumship myself?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've had that since I was a child, and I also have a mother who committed suicide and a father who did, in as much, very much so, through drugs and alcohol. And so I've got my life has been greatly affected by it. That happened with my mother when I was 8 years old. And so it's just interesting that you should bring that up, because I've definitely communicated with many of the deceased, of friends and acquaintances and clients and things, but not my own parents. And I used to ask another medium that I would see from time to time, why that was. And her explanation was not the same as what you shared, but it was very much about being stuck and
Yeah.
being caught sort of in the energy matter of after that kind of an act. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. I've had to come to a place of forgiveness
Obviously.
and understanding in order to move on with my own life, and to embrace and accept and be with the truth of what, my own parents chose to do. And, when I was younger, and in the wake of her death, and then in the wake of his, I had my own periods of time where I felt suicidal. And
Of course.
I had to decide that that was not the answer. And it's been a conversation within my family unit, where we have a commitment to each other that we take that off the table as an option. It's
That's
just not, we have
fantastic.
a family agreement where that's not an option in our family. We don't look to that as a possibility, because we would not do that to each other, and also because we know it's not the answer. and
Exactly.
that
And now
everything
you have a
that's
little more
happening.
information about it too.
Hmm?
Now you have a little bit more information about it too. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't solve the problem. In fact, you get stuck with that problem.
yeah, yeah. And I primarily address it from the standpoint of someone who's had to live her life without without parents, and how difficult that's been, and to let that inform my understanding of the impact of a decision like that on the people left behind, and
Yeah.
also, I like most people have seen my share of darkness, and I know that there's always light. There's just
Yeah.
there's always light, and no darkness is enough to consume me completely. And the whole phrase, we say these things that are cliche, like this too shall pass. Well, we say it because it does, and
Exactly.
we say it gets better because it does, and we say time heals because it's true. And there's always something to look toward. There's always something hopeful to look toward, and there's always something to be grateful for. Even in the
Absolutely.
even in the darkest even in the darkest times. And I think a lot of us are experiencing a lot of darkness right now. The world feels in many ways, feels like a dark place, but there is, as Mr. Rogers says, there are always helpers, and there is always light. Like right now, people are losing their homes, and there are people risking their own lives to help, and that's beautiful.
Absolutely. And you're going to go home, you're going to pick up your son from school and you're going to go home and you're going to take really sweet, good care of yourself. And
I
that's how
am.
you're loving yourself today.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to trust that what I'm going through and what I'm processing is temporary, and I know that, and that's where I'm going to keep my focus.
Okay.
Uh,
That's gorgeous. Um, I'm, in order to love myself today, I had a lot of things taken off of my plate earlier today,
mm,
and it allowed me to do more promotion because I realized I'm spinning a bunch of plates again. It's like coming to
mm,
that realization. It's like, oh boy, here I go again. I have an
mhm,
event coming up in Hawaii, so I have to do some promotion for that. I have a group that I'm starting on Sunday and still looking for a few people to fill in on that. I've stepped into, talking about helping people that were raped in their youth,
mm,
feminine leaders that experienced rape and sexual assault in their youth, and then, have become successful in spite of it, but it's still in their energy field and it's
sure.
it's holding them back and keeping them from having, radiant relationships.
Mm.
And I know that there's a few other things that I'm spinning, and it's like, Gwen, please stop.
Yeah, it's tough, right? We're
Please.
both we're both similar that way. We always want to do and do and give and do and do, and sometimes you have to
Yeah.
retract your energy a little bit, and it's hard to do. It's hard to find
Well,
that
it's,
balance.
yeah. In fact, I need to go here in just a bit. A gal's been calling me that I I put out that I was going to do weekly mini clearings
Hmm.
on in my group, Radiant Relationship Clearing Group here on Facebook at 3:30 every Friday.
Mm.
And the first one I did, I was so exhausted. I didn't know I was coming down with something, but
Mm.
I'm thinking that that might be more than I can handle right now, that maybe I need to wait until January and start it in January. Because right now I'm on Facebook every single day as it is. And so there's that commitment. And then I also run a couple of Get It Done labs. So I think that today that the universe took care of me by taking some things off of my plate so that I wasn't spinning quite so many.
Yeah. Yeah, it's important. That's just an invitation to you and to myself and to others, is to take things off our plates. I had to back out of a really powerful, big and volunteering program today for the immediate future, just to take care of
Mm,
my health. And it's just, we have to do
yeah,
that every day, find
absolutely.
ways to just reprioritize and refocus and constantly adjust so that we're getting our needs met, so that we can then be more for others, as I know you want to be, and I do too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's probably the biggest reason for this practice of self-love,
Mm,
and asking every day, how do I love myself today, is to make sure my cup is full,
yeah.
because I so want to, I was constantly giving from an empty cup, and you can't do that for very long. It's certainly not sustainable.
Nope.
And so it's Lisa Nichols who says, "Don't give from the cup, give from the saucer."
Mm,
So
there you
have
go.
your cup so full that it's flowing over, and you've got lots in the saucer to share.
Love it. I like that. That's good.
All right. Well,
All
you go
right,
take
sweet
care of
friend.
yourself. It's always a
Good to see
pleasure
you.
to have you every other week with the self-love experience. So everyone else, now go love yourself.
Indeed. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye, hon.
You too. Take care. Bye.